Welcome to the new video. Have you ever tried to add a Microsoft Intune devices to a security group using the PowerShell? I'm pretty sure you would have added tons of devices to a security group using the GUI. When I say GUI, I'm referring to Entra or maybe the Intune Portal. But in this video, I will show you the automated way or the very simplest method how to add Intune devices or with Entra devices to a security group using the PowerShell script that are within few seconds. So if you are watching my video for the first time, I'm Sujin Nelladath. I'm a Microsoft Graph MVP. It's been almost 11 years I'm in the industry, and I do deliver trainings on SCCM, Azure, Intune, and the Graph, Microsoft Graph as well, and I do write the blog in the HTMD community. Let me take you through the Intune portal here. I'm in my Intune portal. Okay, so I'll go through the groups here. There are lots of groups that I have created, but I just created one group that just for testing, which is device group test, and I will just open that group by double clicking the group. When the group is open, I will get lots of information about the group, like the source, the security type of whether it's a security type or maybe the M365 type and the object ID when it was created, and how many members are there, and lots of information. You could see it here, and I'll go to the members, and this one member added. I will do one thing, I'll just delete it. I'll remove the member here. Now there's no member added. I will just refresh it. You could see here no members have been found, so this is a null group. Now there's no member added, and you would be able to see lots of other information about the group and like properties, owner and all. I'm not explaining all those things here. I will take you through the PowerShell script that I have created for adding the devices into a security group. All right, so this script is there in my repository. I will just share the link of this GitHub repository with this video, and I'll put that in the video description. All right, so here I'm starting the script by just setting this execution policy. It's always better to set the execution policy as remote signed and set the scope as current user. Here I'm setting the execution policy as remote signed, and then the next line I'm connecting the graph using the connect hyphen graph and putting the scope as group member dot read write all and the device dot read write all. I need these two permission to be given here as a scope, because without providing this permission, these two permission, without getting this permission, I will not be add the devices into the group in this example. Here in the next line, I'm setting the base URLs. Or it's better to set the base URL as a variable. Here I'm using the $graph base URL variable and assigning the value as https hyphen backslash, sorry, not hyphen, backslash graph Microsoft.com, and the version is version 1.0, and I'm putting that in the double quotes here. And the second line, the next line, I am creating a function called get group ID. This function is doing a very important task here. It's getting the group ID. Here you see I'm using the base URL, and I'm applying a filter here. In that filter, the endpoint here till here groups, you will have details about the groups, all the groups in your environment, and here in the filter, using this filter, you will just look at that particular group name. What you would you get it here, and I will just match here. If the display name is equal to the group name what you put here in the user input, it'll get the details stored in the $group URL, and that $group URL will get stored or maybe assigned here in the invoke mg graph request. Here I'm using a get method. So since you're using the get method here, you don't need anything to be added as a request input. I mean, you don't need any JSON input here. And the value what you would get it when you call this invoke hyphen mg graph request and the group URL and using the get method would get stored here in the $group. This value, I will just go for a filtration again. I will just go for an ID here. I just need the ID, nothing else. And those ID will get stored here in the value, right, which is like with the function which what I have created now. The next function which will get you the device ID, I'm just using the same method what I used to get the group ID. Here in this method, in this function, I will just change the endpoint. The above function I use the groups endpoint, but in this case I'm just going to get the device information first, then I'm going for a filtration. In that filtration I'm going for a display name, and I'm looking at the display name. When the display name is equal to the device name, then I will get the value stored in the device URL here, dollar device URL suddenly. And the here in the dollar device I'm going for a invoke mg graph request, and that graph request is a get request which doesn't really need any input. Like I said, here also I will just use the same the URL, or maybe same variable whatever I have stored here, and I will get the value stored in the this function. And only the ID would get stored here, rest everything will get like we would not need any of the other details. I just need the ID. When I just little drag down here, I'm using the read host to get the user input, which I will ask what is the end user group name, which end user has to given. So the group name has to be given here. It's getting stored in the dollar group name, and from the dollar group name, I'm just applying a little method here, which is called trim. The trim method will just like trim your input. For example, if you just put a space or something in the input, it could be possible when end user putting any data, they would probably put some space. I'm just ignoring any error that would come across maybe when you execute in the script. So I'll just use a trim method. That trim method will like a little trim your input, and the value would get stored in the dollar group name. And I will use that dollar group name value when I'm calling a function called get group ID. You see a group name parameter here. I'm getting that group name parameter using this custom parameter what I have created here. Here in the get device ID function also I have created a parameter called device name. I will use that parameter here. You could just literally see here get device ID hyphen and the parameter. So okay, I was just explaining this get group ID. I will use the group ID parameter, and I will store the value whatever I get here in the group ID. And you see here, I'm just going for a loop here. Saying, for example, if the group ID doesn't exist, I will say that the group not found, and I will exit from the code. I will exit from the script. I will not do anything here. So I'm just going for a loop, and here you could see that I'm printing group not found and exiting, and I'll use the exit command to terminate the execution of the script. And once that is done, in the next line I am asking the end user to put the device name which you would like to add into the certain group. So the group name it's already given, group ID already given, all the details are there. Whatever the group that you would like to add, or maybe that whatever the group that you would like to execute here, that's get stored here in the device group ID. Sorry, the dollar group ID. In the device dollar device name, I will store the device's name, and I will get the device ID using the function which I have created here. And the same method, if the device ID doesn't exist because of any reason could be anything, I will just exit from the script, and I will just stop the execution of the script stating that device not found, and I'm exiting. All right. So the next line, I'm adding the devices into the group. This is the main part of this code. So here I have a variable called dollar add member variable, member URL. In this variable, you see I'm still using the graph base URL, and but endpoint is different here. I'm using a group endpoint, and I'm using a dollar group ID which I already got it here, and I have the members and other details here. And you could see a body here, right? And I'm converting this body to a JSON because invoke mg graph request, and when you're going for a post call, you need a body that has to be in the JSON format. You can't change it. There's no other option you could supply here. So I need the body that has to be always in the JSON format. So I'm using a convert to JSON command line to convert all the input details. Here you could see the input details. I'm just supplying the input details as device ID and the graph base URL. Everything is pretty okay here. I got the body here, and I'll just go for a invoke mg request. And here you could see I'm applying the URI here, which I already created, which is dollar Microsoft the graph base URL group so and so, and which is saved in the add member URL. I will use the same variable, and I'll use the method as post. When you go for a post call, like I said, you need a body. The body has to be in the JSON format. So I'll just supply the body here, and body has to be supplied using the body parameter hyphen body parameter. And once that is done, I'm done the execution of the script, and if all good, you will get a message stating that the device so and so device successfully added to a group with the name. So here in this case, I'll just give a group name and the device name, so you should get the particular device name and the group name added up message here in your PowerShell screen. So I'll do one thing. I will just open my Visual Studio Code, right? I'll just do a clear screen here. So I have a Visual Studio Code here, and in that Visual Studio Code, I copied the script which I just showed you. Here you could see I'm setting the execution policy. Everything is fine here, and I'm not explaining it again. I will just execute the code here. Okay, so I'm getting a message. I could just ignore that message. It's just like saying that there's some issue with the execution policy. I'll tell you what's happening here. When I set the execution policy as remote sign, I'm setting to the current user, and that's why it is saying that you have the execution policy that's set for the other scope. I could just ignore that. There's no issue with this error message. You could see the other message which is called welcome to Microsoft Graph message, and that graph message will be like saying you that these all are the details, like in this the SDK document, API docs, and also and so details, right? So you can use a no welcome parameter to suppress this message if you really need it. However, I'm getting an input call here, which is enter Intune group name. So I'll do one thing. I have the group name, which I saved it in my cheat sheet. I'll just paste it here, right? So I have the group name here, device group hyphen test. I'll just hit enter. When I hit the enter, it will ask me to put the device group, the device name and the device name. I'll just copy that as well and paste here, which is Intune hyphen 03. All right. So I'll just hit enter. So when I hit enter, the script execution will start, and you could see the message here stating that device Intune 03 successfully added to the group device group hyphen test. So you see here the device group hyphen test is the group name, and the Intune 03 is the device name. So let me go to the Intune portal now. Is that Intune portal? So here, yep. So I'm in the group. You see device group test is my group, and I'm in the members. Now there is nothing. I'll just go for a refresh, and I should get the devices added, which is Intune hyphen 03. So well, I'm done with execution. I got the device added, which is Intune 03, and you could just use this script to add a device to a group within few seconds. Only it's asking two input. One is your device group device name and the group name. That's it, and the code would be enough capable to get the IDs, and the code is enough capable to add the device into the group which you mentioned. All right, that's it. See you next video. Thank you. Bye bye.